Here I'm actually working on another project where I'm actually going to replace a storage battery on a Black & Decker weed trimmer. It's a battery operated weed trimmer that you charge. It's the CST800. What I'm going to do is basically replace this battery in it. It's been in this unit for about close to 20 years and I haven't used it in the last couple of years. But one of the first things you have to do is you see where the holes are for those screws. You have to remove all the screws. No need to remove any of these screws. On this black piece you do not need to remove any of the screws, but on the orange piece you need to remove all these screws and save it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that area here you need to take the screw out. Then you have that screw, the one over there, the one over there, and the one in the back. There's one in the back there too. And once you take that out, you can actually flip it over and open it up, and you can see the battery right in there. So that's the battery that I'm pointing to. Take the old battery, this is a sealed battery, and disconnect these wires. So there's a black lead coming up here. I think I'm going to take a picture. It looks like this one is slightly different from the one I have. So there's two wires coming to the negative terminal here, but in my case I have only one. So let me show you the best way to do this. You put a screwdriver right to the top here, and I'm using a hammer. You can see my hammer right now. I'm going to use a hammer to slightly tap it, and it should come out. You can't do it by hand. I tried that. Tap it slightly and I'll pull the thing out, so that now you can see this is totally out. You don't have to put this back in. When you replace the new battery you can put this back in, but for now just put this aside. I will try to remove the other red terminal. That should come off pretty easy. Anytime you try to pull terminals off, try to wiggle it out if you're doing it by hand, and I just pulled it out. Okay, so I'm going to move this battery aside and I'm going to put the new battery. So when you bring the new battery, there's a cover on the positive terminal. You remove that, put this new terminal back on, slip it on. So now I'm actually close up to this. I'm going to put the negative terminal, the white cord that you see here, I'm wiggling it to put it on. I want to make sure it goes all the way in. Okay, it's in. Now it's snapped in place. You take the black cord and put it right there on the top. I thought I might have to do some soldering, but it looks like it's a good fit. Now a couple other things you got to keep in mind. So I have a little switch here. When you pull the trigger on this weed eater, it turns on the weed eater. So I'm gonna have to put this back. Let's put the battery the way it's supposed to go. I'm gonna have to stick this battery in. There's a little circuit board in here. It needs to fit into the slot, and there's a light that comes on. You see the little posts standing here? There are two posts. You need to put the switch on those posts and push it down. So now we have the new battery in place, and I'm going to have to actually charge it up after I assemble it and actually test and see if it works, and hopefully the battery is good and won't have any issues.